Guys, good morning and welcome to FYI. We trust that you guys have had a great weekend and that your week is off to a running start. A very good morning to each and every one of you, wherever you wonderful folks joining us from, whether you're at home here in Guyana, where we're broadcasting from, or you guys are in the diaspora, close or far. We are happy that you guys are here with us. Whatever the situation, we're happy that you guys are here. See, Debbie Collins is here as already, and Siobhan Beatrice is here. Siobhan McDonald, Beatrice. Selby, good to see you guys. Mona Moore, we see you as well. Good to have you, Mona. Good to have you. Really hope that you guys have had a great weekend, a fantastic weekend. And what a weekend it has been. A lot of pain and sorrow, but a lot of celebration at the same time. And such is life. We're happy that you folks are here with us and are going to be here with us perhaps for the next 45 minutes or so. We're going to shoot a couple issues at you folks, and then we're going to get out of your hairs so you can get on with the rest of your life. And we're so happy though, that each and every one of you are here with us. Debbie Apple, we see you there, Debbie. How are you doing? How are you doing? Did you guys catch any of the Super Bowl last evening? Yeah, we're going to be talking a little bit about that too, and some other things happening internationally as well as regionally and at home here in Guyana. As we see in the 592, we're going to be touching on some of those issues as well. But we're so happy and privileged to see each and every one of you joining us this morning. It's a distinct privilege. It's a distinct privilege to have you guys on with us. A very, very good morning if you're now joining us. Wendy Caesar, we see you there. Michaela, Andrew Coates, good to have you this morning, Michaela. I see Winston France is here as well, and Wendy Caesar. Good to have you, Wendy, and all the other guys. That's Ward Dean joining us too, guys. Really good to have all of you here on board with us. Really good to have you guys here. Vashti Magnot is here as well. Good to have Vashti and Donna Joseph. Good to see each and every one of you guys. You know, you all make the program what it is. We got a lot to get through, folks. We got a lot to get through. Annette Cummins says the Chiefs rather won the Super Bowl. I thought it was Rihanna. But congrats to the winners, folks. Congrats to the winners. Petal Thorn, good to see you as well. I don't know why Rihanna wanted to go and distract from the people's win. Eslyn Souvenir, good to have you as well. And Wong the Freitas, Aisha, good to have you here too. Great to have each and every one of you guys. I trust you've had a great weekend. You had some time for yourself, some time for family and friends, and perhaps even got a head start on this new week. We got a lot to share with you guys, a lot to share with you because, you know, a lot of things are going right. A lot of things might be going right, but a lot of things are going wrong as well, good folks. A lot of things are going wrong as well, and you only have to look around, perhaps close to where you are, to see some of that. A lot of things are going wrong as well, but good to see each and every one of you, and we're happy wherever you folks are joining us from, that you are here with us this morning, our first show for the week, which means we got 15 more to go. Yeah. 3 shows per day by 5. 3 5 is not 15? I think so. You know, when the maths ain't too good. But we're happy. We're happy that you folks are here. As we said, you know, people might want to pretend that everything is everything, but it's not so in every instance, you know. It's not so in every instance. And, you know, citizens in this country have that stark reality. You wake up to it every day that all is not well. You know, there's this kind of pretension that we have. It's sitting right there below the surface. Everything is nice and dandy. But people who engage the systems where we are, they know all is not well. I believe strongly together, we can make it well. We can make it well. You know, saw one fellow on social media just over the weekend. I think his name was Mahindra Buram. And he was complaining about what's happening, for instance, at Skeldon Hospital. Biggest budget ever, folks. How much was the budget? Can you folks remember? Can you guys remember? Agri Marsh. Can you remember, Dolly? Biggest budget ever. $781.9 billion. It is billion with a capital bill. Billion with a capital bill. And folks, you know, it was just heartrending to hear a father complaining, right? Complaining and basically saying, we can't use roads. Because the citizens have noted a big budgetary allocation for infrastructure. And while that is good, you know, we can have some pristine, nice roads and people falling down in this country hungry. Falling down in this country because of one of simple services. Well, we got to watch that. We have got to watch that. As we begin the morning's program, take a look and take a listen to what Mahindra said over the weekend about what is happening at the Skeleton Hospital. Yeah. People are voicing their concerns, and they have a right to do that. They have a right to do that. Welcome to each and every one of you.
Mr. Ali, before you go next street, see and get doctor for work Monday to Sunday, Skeleton. What? Signboard, Skeleton Hospital. No doctor in there, Skeleton Hospital today. None. You need to get more doctors, Skeleton Hospital. Look. From since 2 o'clock to now, none doctor are going to check my son. None. You need to look into this matter here.
Yep. The folks say, those who feel it knows it. Those who feels it, some people say, knows it. And you can imagine trying to engage a hospital system for your child. Sometimes you're big and you're gone through, and you could bear up a little bit. But it's the children, right? It's the kids, and you want them to have the healthcare service because of whatever reason they might be crying out for pain. You're uncertain as a parent what's happening, and then you go someplace. Sheila Boychild, Yvonne Ramasar, you go some places, and then, my Lord, could you imagine that? He says no doctors are available on a Sunday. There can't be a hospital. There can be like a clinic. There can be like a health center. And even that being the case is not acceptable. Once your doors open, people expect a good service. Biggest budget ever. 71.9 billion with a capital bill. Here we are. Mahindra crying out. And that scene there with our brother Mahindra, it's replicated so many times in this country, whether it's at Skeleton, on the quarantine, or it's somewhere on the west side, or it's somewhere in region 9. That scene is replicated so many times. They're very basic things. And we showed you right in our affiliate program in the ring, I think it was on Friday night, Gauze, a health center on the East Coast, saying if you come to dress your wound or something like that, walk with your gauze. Walk with your gauze. Biggest budget ever. Biggest, Chevron, McDonald, Yvonne Ramasar, biggest budget ever. But is it meeting the needs of the people? That is the important question we have to ask. Is it meeting the needs of the people? Folks, that is the important question we have to ask. Yeah. We're preparing, folks. We're preparing to head into the morning papers. Get the show on the road. We're preparing to head into the morning papers. Guys, why don't you pull up a cup of something with us? Coffee, tea bag tea, Milo tea. Whatever you're having this morning. I wish I had some of my breakfast on yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, I went for an early walk in the national park, and then I got some breakfast in the city. Got some plantains and eggs and, some fruits on the side and so forth. I wish I had that this morning, but we got to be here early. I'm having a cup of black coffee. What are you guys having at your side, at your end? Do let us know what you wonderful, beautiful folks are having at your end. And feel free, folks, if you find any value in the broadcast, share the live, smash that emoji, but we got a lot of stuff to cover as we go down. Yvonne, we got a lot of stuff to cover. Joel Wild and all the other guys joining us across social media. We're thankful for the hundreds of you who've tuned in. We are grateful. We are privileged to have you folks here with us. We're preparing, guys. We're prepping to head into the morning pipers. A lot happening. Can't say we didn't want to. Quite a few things happening, good folks. Quite a few things happening at our end. And so good to have each and every one of you with us. A lot of stuff happening, guys, and we think you ought to know about a couple of them. We want to shoot your way. As we said, we are preparing to head into the morning papers. Welcome, folks, wherever you all are joining us from. Again, those of you who are joining us late, we trust that you guys have had a good weekend. We trust that your week, has started just right. They say avoid loud and vexatious people. By loud and aggressive rather. People, it's not the Beatitudes. No, it's the desiderata. Avoid loud and aggressive people. I see somebody say agree march. Loud and aggressive people. There's a vexation to the spirit. We want to start the week right. Respect of manners, agree. Good to see you on the live. Amanda Daniels, we see you as well. Really good to see you guys. If you have the opportunity, share the live, smash that emoji button for us. Quite a few things to share with you guys, and we are super happy. We are super duper happy that you folks are here with us. And I think we have the first headline set. Yep, we have the first headline set. Good to have you guys, as we said, each and every one of you, wherever you guys are joining us from. And the first headline is up that we're spotting in the morning papers and looking out for you good folks. It says the EIA has been waived. This is the Environmental Impact Assessment, waived for Guyana's first solar-powered water treatment plant. The EIA has been waived, and we've been telling you guys that under this new dispensation, this administration, it seems as though the EIA is to ask for it is not the norm. The standards seem to be waiving that requirement, and again, that requirement is a very important one. It allows us to understand how would this project benefit us. Is it environmentally friendly? Is it sound for the communities being placed in? A whole host of questions it helps us to answer. And again, folks, it seems as though it is the waiver of it is the norm, and having the EIA that is the exception to the rule, which is waiving the EIA. That seems to be the rule. Sheila Boy Child, we see you there. Daphne, Aaron, and all the other folks joining us. We are so happy. Edward Bruce, good to have you as well, Edward. All the other guys joining us. I see Gloria is on the live. Gloria, good morning to you. Trust you're off to a great start this new day and this new week. Folks, we got life. We got energy. We got so much to be grateful for. A couple of folks didn't make it. But here we are. A chance to reset things, start the day anew, folks, and make a difference in the world. Make a difference in the world. Here's another one of those headlines that we're following. Do we have it? I think we do. Another one of the headlines we're following, guys. A constitutional process. The Attorney General tells us is going to be inclusive. The constitutional reform process is going to be inclusive. And we thought at this end, well, if past experience is anything to go by, how can it be? How can it be? Sure, you might have some public consultations and whatnot. But what gets finally included won't be any, as they say in the US, any bipartisan approach between government and opposition, making sure we got a strong constitution and one that is acceptable to the people of this country. So when the AG, Nanlal, says that the constitutional reform process is going to be inclusive, one wonders, define inclusive for us. Define inclusive, Sheila Boy Child. What dictionary are you using to define inclusive? You don't have an opposition member who sits on a board in this country. Even in the NRF, the National Resource Fund, that board, the person who the law says must be appointed by the opposition, that person was appointed by the government, and the government telling us he's opposition. Right? The opposition were not allowed to appoint its own person. The government appointed a person and said, this man is opposition. So when they commonly say that the constitutional reform process is going to be inclusive, one wonders, really? Really and truly? Wow. Is that so? I guess that's a better iteration of it. Is that so? Check out this other headline, folks, we're tracking. Check out this other one. Peeping Tom. The Peeping Tom column out of Kaiser News. It's required reading this morning. Oh, he will into the government, he or she, whoever Peeping Tom is, whoever the individual may be, will into the government. Right? That they are very poor at planning. And they were dealing essentially, among other things, with the fire there at the Parika market. And one of the things Peeping Tom says that this market should not have even been there in the first place. Right? Because of its location and the congestion and all of that. And then he says that instead of fixing the problem, this administration has a tendency of reinforcing what the problem is. An interesting perspective. Peeping Tom saying this morning, the PVP is poor planning, and it Cummins. It's true. Seaboard George. Rigby Joe is now we says so. Peeping Tom. Wayne Anthony, Bobble Matthews. Good to see you there, Wayne. We trust that all is well at your end. You hold down the fort for the rest of us. Hold on the fort by your end, Wayne. Hold on the fort. Good to see you. Marilyn Larma is here. You see, I like these people coming late, you know. Right? You come. If you're coming, come. Good? I don't talk, Marlon. I don't talk. Joe Ward, good to see you there, and Charmy Gibbs, and all the other folks who are joining us. The hundreds of you who've tuned into our morning program. It's a privilege to have each and every one of you with us, guys. It's a real distinct privilege. People in Jam, you said them boys, poor planning. How does that sound to you guys? How it sound? Poor planning. That's among the things he said. Very, very poor. Very, very poor planning. He said they should relook at all the markets and how you situate them away from main traffic and away from congested areas. Right? Away from congested areas. And we're going to talk a little bit more about this fire and some of the conclusions that have been drawn at the Parika market. And then later on in the program, we're going to turn our attention to that, folks. But another headline that jumped out of us in the morning papers is this one. Lawyers for those young ladies, the folks at Mucker Arcadia, in particular View, who had their houses broken down. Well, the lawyer who's representing them, Mr. Amsterdam, he says that nothing irregular here. That's what he said, nothing irregular. And they're asking that they are, what do you call it? Let me characterize it properly. That they are, there's pre-litigation, as the header tells us there, right? Pre-litigation, mitigation, or mediation, right? Before you go into the formal court system. Could we trash it out? What happened here? And what could be the remedy? And that is what the lawyer is asking for in that instance. That's what the lawyer is asking for. And the lawyer, on behalf of these folks there at Mucker, View Mucker, it's lawyer Vivian Williams. That's the name. Vivian Williams, and he's representing the families there. And again, he's pushing for pre-litigation mediation. Right, let's see how far that gets on the issue too of apology. Remember, that was one of the things that Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire recommended. Right? Mediation. They find a neutral party who can look at all the issues and say, this is what should happen. Mediation. Right? So we're watching that, folks. We are watching at that very, very, very keenly. And of course, we want to turn our attention to some of what, guys, has been happening. Some of what's happening on the international stage as we shift our attention to what's brewing, folks. What's brewing by your end? What are you guys having for breakfast? You having some coffee? Your guys got some ground coffee? I think ground coffee is the best. Oh, that thing just to smell the aroma, floating through the house when it's bubbling up. That's something else. Stays with you for a long time. Stays with you for a long time. Folks, quite a few things happening. Quite a few things happening internationally. Quite a few things happening internationally. Quite a few things happening regionally. And of course, in the 592, never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. And we're going to be tackling, guys, we're going to be tackling at some of that. We're going to be tackling some of that. And while we have the opportunity, folks, we encourage you. Why don't you share the live? Why don't you smash that emoji button and partner with us as well? Most gracious folks, partner with us as well. Good to have you guys here. Welcome all those who showed up late. As I rather suspect that y'all used to get a lot of detention. I would rather suspect a lot of detention, a lot of being sent to the principal's office for the very issues that persists currently. I can only imagine. But we're happy to have you folks here with us. And while we're here, why don't we let you know and recommend for all of your justice of the peace needs. You need a commission of votes to affidavits, you need a justice of the peace. Guys, we recommend Alistair Collins. Right? He's expert in this area. As Justice of the Peace, he understands the business. You need a commissioner of votes affidavits. He understands that as well. And so he can provide his expert guidance and support for all your documentation needs. And you know what we love about what they do down there with Alistair? they're open Monday to Saturday. That Saturday feature is important because sometimes you need this kind of service, but you gotta work. You gotta work. But they're open on Saturdays as well at the Callion Mall, and they're located between Lamaha Street, Lamaha and Waterloo Streets. Between Lamaha and Waterloo Streets, the number you can get them on is 649-6410. Yep, and they're going to look after you. You need a commissioner of both affidavits. You need a justice of the peace. Hit them boys up, and then give you guys the fix up. Yep. Moving on now, folks, the things that are happening internationally, regionally, and things that are happening in the 592 as well. We want to share this with you. This is one of them that's really making the headlines, in the past 48, 72 hours. The U.S. shot down a number of objects in the cyberspace. One of them was that Chinese spy balloon. That was one of them. Well, in the last 24 hours, U.S. fighter jets, they tell us, shot down an airborne object over Lake Huron. Right? Over that lake. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. And they are still to tell us exactly what it is. As a matter of fact, what we know is that they're trying to salvage some of the debris. They're trying to salvage some of that to give them a better sense of what exactly was flying over this lake. And believe it or not, we're being made to understand as well that they have not ruled out UFO, unidentified flying object. They have not ruled that out at all. UFO. They have not ruled out. And I think here they talk about something from, another time and another place. They have not ruled that out. But this is the fourth object, quote unquote, that they've had to shoot down in as many days. Right? Signs of the times. I hear some of you say signs of the times. Right? We're going to keep you guys posted on that one. And then this is another issue that we saw brewing internationally, folks. The death toll. And since we were putting this graphic together, this information, the death toll in Turkey and Syria, that earthquake there that struck those countries predominantly. Some other countries felt the aftermath and the shockwaves and so on, but predominantly it's been Turkey and Syria, smitten and stricken by this 7.8 magnitude earthquake. They're telling us it's over 34,000 people have lost their lives as a result of this earthquake. Yeah, over 34,000 people. And in the midst of all of that, we've had some case of miraculous survival. Miraculous survival. Just yesterday, I think it was, after 6 days of being buried by rubble and all manner of things, they pulled a survivor from beneath the earth. I saw them pull a baby within the last 72 hours, and certainly within the last 24. We saw them pull a survivor out of all of that. It is my conviction that when the Father says you're going to live, no man can say otherwise or do otherwise. When the Father says your time, that's it, Tommy Gibbs, Gail Alicott, Dolly Anderson, Loretta Argyle, when the Father opened the door, no man can shut it. And when he shuts it, no man can open it either. And so we were elated, much like the rescuers, when we saw this person emerging, this figure emerging from beneath the rubble, 6 days after being buried. Yeah. 6 days after being buried. Thanks and praise God to the folks at that end. And this other story is quite a chilling one. Quite a chilling one. As it says here, a Texas man was found guilty for murder after his teenage son shoots and kills three teenagers to boot in a store in Texas, a convenience store in Texas. His son, because folks, he drove his son to that convenience store. He drove his son there, waiting for him while his son was inside, and then he drove his son away from that scene. And of course, this is 34-year-old Richard Acosta. Richard Acosta, and his son is rather 14-year-old Abel Acosta. And Abel has not been seen since. The father's just been found guilty for murder. Abel has not been seen since, and the father says he doesn't know where his 14-year-old might be. And his 14-year-old shot and killed another 14-year-old, Javier Gonzalez, 17-year-old Rafael Garcia, and 16-year-old Ivan Nalia. Yep, the report said he waited outside this convenience store while his son went inside, a 14-year-old, and opened fire on fellow teenagers, Javier, Rafael, and Ivan. Signs of the times. I can hear some of you all saying, signs of the times. You know, our thoughts and prayers with the family of the bereaved. Our thoughts and prayers go out with them. I hope, I hope that Abel turned himself in. That's the kind of world we're living in. So the father was found guilty for murder. Father was found guilty for murder, folks. That's one of the things we're tracking internationally. And where were you guys last evening when Rihanna put on that spectacular performance? All right. I saw it this morning. I was hunting around last evening. Didn't know where to catch it between being very tired after a hectic weekend. Didn't know where to catch it, but I caught the whole thing on YouTube just this morning. But if you guys had a chance to see it last, at least you could have sent me a little message and say, wow. wow. So it was a spectacular performance, and we've seen that in countless reports. I know people are just not trying to be nice to Rihanna. It was a spectacular performance. Is it me, or did Rihanna, sing for the whole 30 minutes of that halftime show, suspended in midair and very, very high up? Is it me, or for the entire performance? Right? And then we found out. Listen, I want to be honest with you. When I saw some of it first, I said, you know what? Rihanna looks a little off this evening. But then I found out why. Second child on the way. How did these folks get any work done? Second child on the way. Congrats. Yep. Congrats to the Fenties. Congrats to them. Yep. Herself and ASAP Rocky, they are expecting their second child. Kudos to them. All right. Sheila Boyd-Child said it was awesome. Jolly Anderson says that she was glued to the television, and Sheila Boyd-Child said it was a beautiful show. I thought so too, even looking at it many hours later. And if you guys haven't had a chance to see the show as yet, it's available on YouTube. Just look for the NFL channel on YouTube, and it's available there. Let's give you guys a little sample of what went down there last evening, Super Bowl. As y'all said, who won the Super Bowl? I think it's Rihanna. Hands down. The expectant mother won the Super Bowl last night. All attention was on her. Nobody, what time of the Chiefs now? Kudos to the Chiefs for winning the Super Bowl. Is it Super Bowl 57? Did I get that right? Rihanna stole the show. Simply stole the show. Yep.
Your wife in the backseat of my brand new Parika. Don't act like you forgot. I call the shots. Like blah, blah, blah. Pay me you what you wanted. Don't act like you forgot. But I have my mind. I'm looking for someone. Where have you been all my life? All my life. Where have you been all my life? Where have you been all my life? I love it, I love it, I love it. I love it, I love it. Want you to make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world. Like I'm the only one that you'll ever love. Like I'm the only one who knows.
So we want to say a big thank you for Apple Music for sponsoring that the Super Bowl halftime show. It was a fantastic, breathtaking performance by Rihanna, largely pregnant. Largely pregnant. And again, if you want to see the full show, you're not going to see the shucks. Go on the NFL YouTube channel, and you guys are certainly going to get the whole thing there. It's on the NFL YouTube channel. Fantastic performance by a very Caribbean girl. Is me or Rihanna little more sexy now? I don't know. Maybe it's me, but that's one of the things as well that we are following, guys, that we are following internationally. Congrats to Brianna and ASAP Rocky. Some guys have all the luck. I'm happy for them. I really happy for them. Some guys get all the luck, and then for the rest of us, it is what it is. Some guys have all the luck. Yeah. You're going to turn attention now, folks, to some of the stuff that is happening regionally. Congrats to the Fenties. Although you're all able. Congrats to the Fenties. We hope that you guys are well wherever you all are joining us from. Quite a few things happening regionally, folks. We think you ought to know about. And one of them, believe it or not, Jamaica had a weekend and a half. I think our graphic is a little mixed up, but we can touch on that. Shortly. Jamaica had such a weekend, and it's not in a good way. Let me just put it like that. It is not in a good way at all. It's not in a good way. But let's turn attention to matters closer to home in Trinidad, folks. In Trinidad, look what happened in Trinidad. 500 bullets gone missing. 500 bullets that were kept by police for safekeeping. A businessman was on investigation who owns an arms and ammunition store, and was recently discovered that the ammunitions have gone missing. 500. And this was, I think, revealed by members of parliament, and now the new Commissioner of Police of Trinidad and Tobago has launched an investigation into that. Yeah, believe it or not, folks, 500 bullets missing, MIA, grew little bullet legs and left the precincts of that police station. 500 bullets. And so again, the Commissioner of Police there in Trinidad has launched an investigation. And our next graphic is a little off in terms of the photograph, but the information is accurate. More than a dozen murders in Jamaica over the weekend. More than a dozen murders in Jamaica over the weekend. Right? And just when you think you have it tight, other folks could have it even worse. Yeah. more than a dozen over the weekend. Yeah. We gotta pray. We gotta pray. We gotta pray. Not only for our own country. We gotta pray for this region as well. We gotta pray for this region as well. Guys, wherever you're joining us from, give the program a share. We're so happy that you guys are here. All right? Share the live and smash that emoji button for us. Share the live and smash that emoji button for us, wherever you are joining us from this morning. And you're joining us on Twitter, you're joining us from YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're picking us up from this morning. Give the live a share and smash that emoji button for us. We are very, very happy that you folks are here. Very, very happy. And we moving on to some other things happening regionally, I believe. Well, we are in the local scene. We're in the 592. I thought we had more stuff we're covering regionally, of course. But we're in the 592. We are in the 592 this morning, guys. Yeah, lots happening. And you see one of the issues there already. Right? We see one of the issues there already. We apologize to the folks who are following us on Facebook. We may have been flagged there for some copyright issue. We thought we'd work that out. All right? Our folks who are following us on Facebook, our apologies. We thought we had solved that issue. Right, we may have shown too much. May have shown too much of that video. But folks, in terms of things happening locally, you know, what happened with that fire at Windsor Forest yesterday, you know, it's quite sad. It's quite sad. That fire at Windsor Forest, and they're telling us that a businessman lost his life. He's known as Slowy. And reports indicate that he went back into that burning building to try to locate his grandson and lost his life as a result of that. His name, well, they call him Slowy, and lost his life as a result of that. And our thoughts and prayers go out to this family. And folks, I want to warn you, some of the footage we're going to show, the audio, I don't know if I can put it in that way, the audio is quite graphic. The audio is quite graphic. So we want to warn you in advance. Some of what you're going to hear could be very disturbing. So if you know your heart and good and so on, brace it over. Brace it over. Take a look and take a listen. Some of what transpired in Windsor Forest just yesterday as that house was razed to the ground and businessman Slowy lost his life.
This thing. He got go wrong. Oh my God. This thing I go?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Windsor Forest.
BJ.
Windsor Forest, 6th Street, West Coast.
Somebody hold the mic!
And that's just some of what took place yesterday. Our thoughts and prayers, of course, go out to that entire family. That can't be an easy thing at all. To lose a loved one and to lose them in that manner cannot be an easy thing at all. Our thoughts and prayers go out to each and every one of them. And this is yet another issue of fire that we're following. We're still tracking what's been happening there at the Parika market, learning overnight that fire, I think the fire service has confirmed that the fire started as a result of some welding fabrication that was happening as rehabilitation works were ongoing at that market. Welding work. And they said sparks, caught on something, and the market burned to the ground. Millions in losses, and the vendors are said they're expecting compensation now. That's what they said. Thoughts and prayers go out to them, their livelihoods, earning a livelihood for themselves and families. That has been interrupted, and we hope that we can sort this out very, very, very quickly. And we said early on, with reference to that column out of Peep and Tom, that where the market is, at least that's the contention of Peep and Tom, where the market is not suitable for that market there in Parika. Right? But we're going to keep you updated as you have more information. Yesterday, I think it was, we saw Member of Parliament Ganesh Maipal on the ground there and listening to the concerns of vendor. Ganesh is the Shadow Minister for Communities, for, local government. Local government and regional development. He's a Shadow Minister, and we saw him on the ground there engaging with vendors, engaging with those concerned as to the possible way forward. The possible way forward. These were folks who were earning a livelihood in this area. And now all of that has been interrupted by this huge fire. Huge fire. I think it was even more extensive than I thought it was initially. Right? And we wish them the very, very best. Right? Good to see MP Ganesh Maipal and the others on the ground. Good to see them on the ground. And we're following that, folks, as we said. As we have more information, you guys are going to have it as well. As we have more information, you guys are going to have it too. Yep. Moving on, folks. Some other things we are following. Again, the carnage in our roadways, fires, that's a pandemic. The carnage in our road and waterways, domestic violence. These are some of the things that we face in our society. We're trying to get a grapple on. And they're telling us that Vikram Basdio lost his life. Rode into a parked vehicle over the weekend. The pillion rider sustained severe injuries as well, but is expected to recover. but Vikram Basio was not so fortunate. Right? And we can't say enough, we can't stress enough, folks. Slow down and arrive alive. You know, on my way home on Friday evening, I encountered an accident as well in South Granville. And as I got on the scene, a couple of folks said said spontaneously, slow down and arrive alive. I said, well, we got some fun right out here. Right? Thankfully, in that accident in South Granville, there were no fatalities. People were pretty shaken up and traumatized by it. But unfortunately, Victor Ambassador was not so fortunate. Now, thoughts and prayers go to his family. Folks, slow down. Right? Slow down. Slow down and let me arrive alive. That's all we can say. Slow down and together, let me arrive alive. Yeah. Here's another one we're following. Oops, sorry there. I think the guys are pushing us forward too quickly. All right, congrats to Colin Weeks. Nice time for Colin. Colin has just won an X-Trail, decent X-Trail, as part of a massive promotion. And this was their Christmas promotion. They now get a chance to hand over the vehicle officially to Colin Weeks. And Colin, believe it or not, is a counselor. Colin's a counselor from the Craig, I think, NDC there. And we want to wish him well and say, congrats, nice time. The vehicle, they tell us, is valued, over $8 million. Yeah. That's $8 million savings for Colin. $8 million saving for Colin. Yeah. We're happy for him. We're happy. Right. Take your time, counselor. Slow down out there and let me arrive alive. Congrats to him. Yeah. Like I now got my same shop more often now. I now go more often. Right. Congrats to him again. And we're moving on to things G Cup. The Trinidadian prosecutor, I think it's Miss Chote, has recommended she's an independent legal advisor for the GCOM Commissioner after listening to and assessing the arguments the recently concluded Commission of Inquiry. I think on Friday, the report said that she recommended an independent legal legal advisor for the chairman of GCOM. And she recommended also management training. She also recommended management training. Well, I thought you were going to have to come with some of that to the job. It's surprising to me that she didn't go for dismissal. Well, can't be dismissed. She didn't go for resignation, that the chairman should resign and you should have a more competent chairman on the whole. That's surprising to me. But she recommended, is it surprising to you, Annette and Dolly and all the other folks? She's recommending an independent legal counselor, perhaps saying that she received bad legal advice. Right? And then recommending management training. But I don't know if you take such a high-profile job like GCOM Commissioner, we're supposed to be bringing some stuff to the table, BHS, and the organization got to now bring management training for you. I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know what to say about that. I don't. Honestly, I don't. Right? Save and accept that Claudette should go. Save and accept Claudette should go. That would be our recommendation. Claudette should go. Claudette was too many things happened around her, or allegedly happened around her, and she didn't know. She didn't get a. She had no command of those moments. Too many things, and I don't know if you could go and try to management train that into Claudette at this late stage in the game. I don't know. I don't think so. But we're watching that. Also GCOM folks. Also GCOM claims and objections. Claims and objections will just come out of and yet another period of continuous registration. And today begins the claim and objections period as GCOM moves towards the preparation of its registrar of voters. You know, they did a whole set of foolishness recently. The commissioners there at GCOM, the opposition appointed commissioners, pointed it out step by step. But remember, these folks believe that all the answers reside and is reposed in them. So they want to listen. They want to listen to Trotman. They want to listen to Corbyn. They want to listen to Alexander. And then when they finally caught up to the errors of their ways, now they're crawling back to doing the continuous registration for the local government aspect of the election. Now they're doing the verification, right? The claims and objections for the local government aspect of things. Yeah. And then they go on, when that is done, to prepare the registrar of voters. Then you got to go and see if your name's there and make sure everything is good. So that's what's going on today. Claims and objections begin. All right, so take note of that, folks. Take note of that. Today begins if you know people living in your area or should be living in your area and they're not there or not been there for a long time and so on. Or don't live there at all. All right? Now is the time to let them know. All right. Now is the time. Moving on with folks. Moving on, we saw some angry farmers over the weekend. Angry farmers. There were some who met with Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, and yet he was summoned to go meet with some others. And of course, there's the one refrain: things tight, things bad, you know, spare parts expensive. They want to bail out. They want to bail out. And after 4 of the biggest budgets ever in our nation's history, we found it very surprising. All the minister had to offer were promises. Oh, we promise we can come and think there. Oh, we promise we can come and look at that. All they had were promises. All they had were promises. Promises. 4 budgets later, we should be well on our way, you know, to possibly having every dam, you know, concreted or what have you. Now they're coming promise. Oh, we can dig the canal. Oh, we can do the irrigation. Oh, we're gonna promises. That's concerning. Very, very concerning. But the farmers are very upset. Very upset. Things tight, folks. The farmers feeling the pinch. The farmers feeling the pinch. Yeah. And then there's this other issue that we're following locally as well. You know, we got a Minister of Foreign Affairs who on the East Coast, he in Linden, you know, he in the quarantine, more than attending to international affairs issues. It's like he would rather, I think, maybe he got the wrong portfolio and he should have been given Minister of Local Government and Regional Development. Because I see him on the ground more than I see in that minister, Nigel Damelal. And over the weekend he was in Linden. This is Utah. And when you read the reports, nothing specific, yet an outreach. I'm trying to remember what one of the other reports said. But nothing specific that says that he's bringing any value on the ground where he is. Right? On the ground where he is. So he seems to have abandoned his foreign affairs minister portfolio, or maybe it was taken from him. Yeah, maybe it was taken from him, and then now he spends his days walking from community to community. That's worrying. What's happening on the international front? That's important that leaders go from community to community. That's important. But when Chad abdicates his role in foreign affairs, who is bridging that? Who is filling that void? Who is filling that void? That's interesting. Who is filling that void? Listen, Linden talking about NIS and everything but foreign affairs and international relations. Everything but that. You all know you're able. You know you're able. And then we saw over the weekend, former Minister of Public Infrastructure, David Patterson, you know, calling on the administration to release the Gas to Shore project document. Right? Release the information so the Ghanaians have a better understanding of what they're dealing with. Release the information. Right? And his contention was that, you know, this thing is, this gas to show project, the Wales gas to show project, is shrouded, he said, in secrecy. Shrouded, that's the word he used, in secrecy. And for the magnitude of project, for the sheer magnitude of project that this is, he makes the contention that we don't know a lot of things surrounding this Wales gas to show project. Right? He said the reasoning for the selection of the current location is yet to be disclosed. The final project costs have yet to be publicly disclosed. Even more worrying, we are now informed by Exxon that Exxon is yet to make the final investment decision on the project public. The final tariff to the consumers for any electricity procured is still unknown. The full technical details, including the proposed connection to our fragile transmission and distribution network, are unclear. And then he goes on to say, the role of the newly formed Guyana Power and Gas, Inc. is unknown. But if you guys know it out there, you can help us to be informed. But that is Patterson on those issues. Unknown. Unknown. We just passed program time. We're going to have to push ahead. Just past program time. And then right on the big issue we want to talk about, money laundering. Money laundering. Money laundering. Christopher Ram in the electricity editor over the weekend brought up back the issue of this $4 billion money laundering case involving the Ramnarine family on the East Bank. Right? The Ramnarine family, this $4 billion money laundering case. And one of the things Christopher Ram raised, this is the accountant, this is the chartered accountant Christopher Ram, and also attorney at law. Ram wonders, why didn't Soku go after the Chinese masterminds, in his words? Right? We see a family being dragged through the courts, but the kingpins are absent. Why did Soku do that? In the report, it says 22 companies, companies in China received a lot of money that was sent to them by members of this family. 22 companies, and yet we don't know the name of one. And who was involved in receiving those monies? Who was involved in receiving those monies? And that is the contention of Christopher Ram over the weekend, that this $4 billion money laundering case, they should have reached out for help. Because his contention, Ram's contention, is that even in China, they have policies against money laundering. That is the contention that's being raised by Mr. Ram. And you know what? We see a lot of veracity in those arguments. A lot of veracity in those arguments. So he ain't got no dissension here. He ain't got no dissension here whatsoever. None. None. And folks, we are running up to program time, but these are some of the issues that we're grappling with today, and that we think you guys ought to know about. This one here we'll be keeping a particular eye on. Who are those companies that were fingered in this money laundering scheme? And then, you know, as Christopher Ram concluded that letter, he said, we didn't forget Sugate. We have not forgotten Sugate. That's the admonition. We didn't forget that. And then here again, Chinese businesses and Chinese companies are featuring very, very, very prominently. You all say you all are having no song? I was saying thanks for joining us. Apologies there. Thanks for joining us, Annette, and I see out front parts. Thanks for joining us. All of you folks, thank you so much for joining us. No sound, you folks say. I know you got song now. I see Pierre, thanks for joining us. Yolanda and Wanda and Maureen. Dr. Brown, thanks for joining us. See more George and Joel Ward. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe out there, folks. Stay safe out there. We're going to see you guys back on the podcast at 12 and then the final program for the day. We're ring, folks. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe. Stay safe. Each and every one of you. Stay safe. Yep. Good to have you here with us, folks. Good to have had each and every one of you here. We trust that you guys are well. We really trust that you guys are well. Stay safe out there.